Yep, each loan you can have out simultaneously. So you can have a 832 home loan out, you can have a $150,000 land loan out, and a $50,000 home improvement loan out all at the same time. You can 100% do that.
Hey everybody, Sherri Echols here with Operation Successful Transition. Today I'm so super excited to have Travis Willis with the Veterans Land Board with us. He is going to be teaching us all about veteran land board loans and how they apply to buying property. And this is strictly Texas stuff, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So in Texas, this is a benefit that veterans have in Texas. He's a veteran himself, so I'm going to hand it over. Travis, tell us a little bit about kind of your background and how you got here, and then I'll let you get on with teaching us all about veteran landlord loans.
Okay. Well, first off, Sherry, I want to say thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
Yeah.
I just say VLB has been a very rewarding experience and job when it really comes down to it. I started this job very shortly after transitioning out of the military, almost about 3 years ago. Now I serve as the Central Texas Marketing and Outreach Coordinator, and what I do is going out and educating our realtors, our veterans, and whomever else that may have interest in this great program that is exclusive to Texas veterans. So, I know we're going to have a lot of great questions that come out here today, but it's just a great opportunity to sit here and talk with you today.
Yeah. Well, so if you're watching the video, do put your questions in the comments and we'll get back to you with answers for sure. So you want to start sharing your screen then,
Okay.
and we'll get going.
All right. Screen two. Okay. All right. There we go. I can see you now. Okay. So the Texas Veterans Land Board is a state agency. A lot of times we get a lot of questions about, people ask us, are we the VA? One thing I want to preface is that the VA is the Veterans Land Board is completely separate from your VA benefits or your VA entitlements.
Yeah, totally
If
different product. Yeah.
This is exclusive to the Texas veterans. It was established in 1946 after World War II. Before I get into all of that, I want to talk a little bit about this screen. The 800 number you see listed here, we share a statewide call center with the Texas Veterans Commission. Every state has their own set of veterans benefits. So, regardless of what state you're from, I would always encourage go out and check those state benefits because you can always add to, but you can't take away. So here in Texas, you have the Texas Veterans Commission, and we share that statewide call center, 800-252-8387. And if you want to find us online, you can search VLB.Texas.Gov, and you'll be able to find everything that I'm talking about here today. And if you have more specific questions, call that call center because our call center loves to talk. No pun intended. So yeah, a little bit about our history. So we exist under an agency called the Texas General Land Office. You won't see that here listed, but the General Land Office was established in 1836 after the Texas Revolution. Throughout the nation, other states came about differently, and Texas was one that did not that retained its land. So we manage all, the public land here in the state of Texas, about 13 million acres. That's actually, yeah, about 13 million acres that they manage here in the state. And there are several other programs, but the VLB was established in 1946 for World War II veterans coming home from that conflict. We didn't want to have our veterans homeless. Throughout the nation, veterans didn't have places to go, didn't have places to stay. In Texas, decided through an act of legislature in 1946 that, hey, we're not going to have that here. So the first land loan went out to a couple. I think they were stationed at Fort Hood. I don't want to misspeak there, but I know their last name was Presley, and it was not Elvis. But that was the first couple. And then from then until now, we've matriculated into these other programs that you see listed here. We have land, we have home improvement. We have now 10 long-term skilled nurse facilities and 5 cemeteries throughout the state of Texas. Um, Very unique. No one else can boast to have all these programs, and especially the land portion, which is going to be really important. I'm sure there's veterans out there that want to go out and shoot, just sit out there and chew crayons. I'm not going to say which branch of service may like to do that, or but and they do way more things than that, and to infinity and beyond. There's a bunch of them out there, but we're thankful for everyone's service, and yeah, this is just another opportunity for you to have a little bit of Texas.
Right.
So this is how you qualify. You can be an active duty military member. I served at 2 Texas duty stations when I was in the Army and never heard of VLB. This agency has opened my eyes to so many opportunities that could help, transitioning service members get discounted interest rates, land ownership. They can PCS or transfer to several different places and still had the opportunity to retain their land here and come back as, higher ranking, more influence, and help other personnel do the exact same thing. But yeah, this is how you qualify. Active duty military for at least 90 days, not dishonorably discharged, and be a bona fide resident here in the state of Texas for at least one day. So long as you meet that criteria, you can pretty much use the entirety of our program. You could be a Texas National Guard member. You can be a reservist with 20 qualifying years towards retirement, but here's another avenue you could go. There are a few people that I've talked to that were able to use their DD Form 214 from their time in their initial entry training to also have that qualify for their 90 days of active duty to then go and utilize this program. We also accept that NGB Form 22. We just want to see if you have any federal service that is reflected on either of your discharge documents. You could be a surviving spouse of a veteran who's listed as missing in action or whose death was service connected. Uh, so long they didn't remarry, and there are some stipulations in there, and we can talk one-on-one about that or with our call center to get in more details on that criteria. But just to reiterate, you only have to live in Texas for one day.
And
And the question may be asked, how do you prove this residency for one day? You can use your PCS or transfer orders that's bringing you to Texas as proof of residency. That's one. Two would be a utility bill, and there's no specific order. You could have a relative that writes a letter for you and say, "Hey, this person is living in my extra bedroom." And then a fourth, which I'm drawing a blank right now, a
like a
Texas
lease or a
license.
contract, if you got into a lease or bought a house or something like that.
Yep, or utility bill, and then your Texas driver's license. That will be an avenue as well. I'm not from Texas. My wife is not from Texas, and we both now qualify. Through finding one of those four avenues of proving our eligibility here in the state of Texas.
Nice. So easy access, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty easy access. I mean, um, uh, you could be in Germany, you can be anywhere stationed, and this is for active duty as well. And you get orders to Texas, you can start the process with those transfer orders or if someone you knows has an address that you can say that you live at, you can start the process while you're abroad. But upon completion, you want to make sure you have that bona fide residency for sure. You want to be here in Texas. Oh, that'll hold some things up.
Yeah. Nice to plan ahead and kind of be set in a direction when you get out. Yeah.
Yes, yes, big time. Okay. Any other questions here on
No, I think
eligibility?
this is great information here. And like you say, people can be in the military and live life and just never even know about this. And when
Yes.
it says veteran land board, doesn't make, it doesn't automatically tell you that houses are also eligible. You can also buy land with a house on it. And it doesn't have to be like 100 acres. It can be a quarter of an acre with a house on it, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So
And it's a bunch of different avenues people can utilize this program. And even though I did preface this by saying we're not the VA, but we complement the VA in a lot of our programs. The funding for our land loans, it come through bonds. It doesn't take any taxpayer money, and then the interest that we charge on those loans is 7.25% for the land loan. That money that we charge there goes to fund other programs here in the state of Texas. So no correction, and here in the VLB, with ho- uh, the cemeteries, our state veterans homes, it goes to fund those programs as well. So it
nice.
continuously goes in rotation, and it continuously serves, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it's its own ecosystem.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what's next then?
Okay. So our land loans. Um, This land loan program is very unique because it only exists in Texas. Like I mentioned before, Texas retained its land, so we can have that opportunity uh, to be able to sell that land to veterans. You can finance up to $150,000 so long you meet the criteria. We check your debt to income ratio to make sure it's at least 50% or less. That'll pretty much guarantee you that 5% down. Now, I don't want to say guarantee because there's always going to be some type of case by case basis, but most times I'm told through our loan officers that If a veteran or service member has 50% or less debt to income ratio, they have a really good chance at getting that 5% down versus the 20% you're going to put down elsewhere for a land loan.
Right.
Now, you may find yourself, if you're on the upside of the 50%, you may find yourself a little higher than that. That's okay because we do all we can to help the veteran. You may put a little bit more down, maybe 9% or 12%, something like that. But our goal is to get you to that 5%. So if there is any homework that I would recommend that someone does, I would recommend that they focus on getting their DTI, debt to income ratio, to 50% or less. Now we run credit to make sure you don't owe any back taxes or any back child support, anything like that to the state of Texas. And if that's the case, good credit. We don't have a number for you. You can have as low as a 530. That's okay. We don't really care about the number, but we want to make sure you're in good standing and you don't have any, you don't owe anything to the state. Um, so in a nutshell, we weigh that the income ratio more heavily than that credit score for the land loan, which we do originate. That's originated in-house with the VLB, which is completely separate from your VA entitlement.
And like say
Yes.
the 9, 8, 8, 9, 10% is still half of what the down money requirement is on a conventional land loan, right?
Yes.
So it's still not 5%, but even 10% is still good. And talk to us about that interest rate a little bit. That's a little bit higher than a regular mortgage rate, but it's lower than regular land loans, conventional land loans.
Yes. And
How is
and
that loan rate calculated and figured?
well, that loan rate, it comes through a vote with the board. So the board, I did mention this is a three person governing body. You have the land commissioner of the state of Texas, who also sits as the chairperson or chairwoman of the Texas Veterans Land Board. So she's in charge, and then you have two government appointees, one skilled in veteran affairs and one skilled in finances. And with their vote, and these meetings are open to the public, so you can watch them quarterly. Excuse me. Then you can that'll come through that avenue of the vote for whatever reason that it may be. When I was hired on, it was 6.95%. It had not changed for quite some time. And back in, I want to say October of 23, it did increase. But like mentioned before, the purpose of um, that interest rate, it goes to fund the other programs. So, but yeah, in comparison to other loans, it's going to be lower than what you put out than what you have to uh, what you would be charged with a normal not
Conventional
VLB
land.
loan. Yep.
Right, yeah. So it's not going to fluctuate like the mortgage rates do. So
No.
hanging around to see if it changes is not really a thing. This might change quarterly, but probably not. It's probably going to stay 7.25 for quite some time unless something big happens, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that's good information to have. So I know a lot of people are like buyers are watching the market to see if the interest rates come down to five something, to buy a house.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you in this case. This will be a better rate than you can get for land in other places, but it's going to be a little bit higher than a mortgage rate. If you're buying a house, you have to weigh which is the best product for you when you get down to brass tacks, right?
That's correct. And the one portion here I didn't mention is the new dual spouse land loan benefit that we rolled out back in, I want to say, November of 2024. So if you have two veterans or two service members, or one, whatever the combination is, two veterans married, so long they both qualify individually for the $150,000 loan, then they can finance up to $225,000 to purchase land here in the state of Texas. I didn't talk about the criteria. So the criteria is an acre or bigger, zone non-commercial, fully located here in the state of Texas, has access to an easement that dimension is 60 feet, and that property can be in a floodplain as long as 1 acre of the floodplain is free and clear. Sorry, 1 acre of the land, one acre of your property is free and clear of that floodplain, and you can finance up to 150 or $225,000 based off of what you qualify for. There is no building requirement, so we don't require you to build anything on that land. If you decide to build on it, you can do so. And there are three avenues of purchasing land with the VLB. You can find it on your own, so long as it meets that criteria. And most of our land sales go to veterans that found it on their own. We had about $9.5 million worth of sales in lands for land sales in the last fiscal year. And I see that potentially increasing this year because the word is getting out. The second avenue would be through one of our auctions, which I'll talk about here shortly. And then the third avenue would be through a public sale.
Good information.
Okay. I'll move on to the Housing Assistance Program. Now, oftentimes you may have heard of TextVet. TextVet is a term a lot of lenders use, lenders, realtors, but it's actually called the Veterans Housing Assistance Program with the VLB. This loan is not originated by the VLB. So we have about 80 to 90 plus participating lenders in our network. And those participating lenders understand our program, but they help you get VA, FHA, or conventional financing. And you can use our program in conjunction with your VA, FHA, or conventional financing. So this is where we would complement not only your VA home loan benefit, but if you have already maxed out entitlement, or if whatever your situation is, uh, opt to go with an FHA or conventional loan, you can use the VLB's interest rate, which most times is going to be lower than what you get out there on the market. Additionally, if you have a 30% or greater service-connected disability, you qualify for an additional half point off of that interest rate. Our interest rates for the home loans fluctuate once a week, every Friday, if it changes at 5:30 p.m. Um, and if it doesn't, that if it changes, if it doesn't change, just check that website every Friday at 5 p.m., which is different from the land loan. Land loan 7.25%, and it does not change unless that decision is made to increase or decrease that.
Right.
Type homes you can utilize is a single family townhome or condo. I hear a lot of people wanting to get fourplexes and everything nowadays, and you can 100% do that with our program. If it is a newer structure, we would recommend that multi duplex or something like that be at least 5 years old. If you want to get a home, just a normal home with the VLB, you have to move into it within 60 days, and you have to remain there for 3 years minimum. The max amount that we have now, we go along with VA every year, so it just went up to 832,750. So you can finance up to that amount through one of our participating lenders, which one of those participating lenders would be the ones that originate your loan.
Good deal. So a lot of people are into that kind of home hacking, and it's 1 to 4 family, right? Is
Up
the
to four
duplex, a
doors.
triplex, a homeplex, or a townhouse complex that's up to 4 doors, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yep, that's correct. Okay. These loans are underwritten by our participating lenders, like I mentioned before. I think I got ahead of myself here because everything on this slide I've already mentioned. So, um, but yeah,
Repetition is the key to learning, right?
yes, yes. But if you see here, no change there. Just utilize one of our participating lenders. What I often tell people with that participating lenders list, all of them are amazing. They wouldn't be on there if they were not. If you know any lenders out there doing great work, I've heard of one lender I live in Bell County, and there's at least one lender around here that does not charge the participation fee or the origination fee. Those are perks that you want to be looking for. And even if they are charging you, that's okay because we do have two allowable points that we allow those participating lenders to charge. That's a 1% origination fee and a 1% participation fee.
Okay.
But there are some on that list that'll waive some of that, but there are perks. There are perks with all of them. Just shop around. That's what I recommend. Shop around and see which one works best for you and your family situation. And if you know any out there that's doing great work, like the one I mentioned, which is I think it'd be great to get them added, and then yeah, continue to add more people to the list because we want to help as many people as we can. Yeah, I think I mentioned all this before. All right. We also offer a home improvement loan. Okay. This home improvement loan is one where you can pick your own contractor. You just can't do your own work. You can finance up to $50,000 to do an improvement on your primary residence if you own it outright. If you still owe a mortgage on that primary residence, then your max amount is 25K. But you could do projects that range from a deck, solar panel. You can have a structural improvement where you're going to put that in-law suite. You can add on. You can do painting. You can and do water meters. No landscaping, no pools. But if you want a jacuzzi in your bathroom, we can help you out with that. Maybe a hand or two, maybe raised over there virtually. But um, this loan is originated by the VLB, and you'll get the full funding after after 4 days of closing. And like mentioned before, you get to pick your own contractor, but you just can't do your own work.
So do you have to submit the plan and the bid and all that as part of the loan process,
We
the
do,
loan application
we,
process, or how do you
yeah,
do that?
yes, we do require a quote. Excuse me, had to take a swig there. We
It's all
do,
right.
we do require a quote from your contractor. Um, But yeah, once you have that, get a quote, get several quotes. You want to make sure you have some options. But we only require one quote for the type job that you want to do. You could do multiple projects under one award as well, right? So you get that funding, you want to do 5 projects, as long as it meets criteria, then you can do multiple projects under that
Right. And
funding.
be sure you vet your contractors, check references and
Hmm.
vet them out really well because you don't want to get a hold of somebody who's a little shady. Right here.
Correct. I guess another thing that happens a lot with this loan is, yeah, it really come down to that contract. You want to make sure. I like that point you made about make sure you're not shady. You want to make sure that reputable people doing work on your home because it's your home. You want to make sure that
Right.
it's going to be something you can. Oh, here's a key point. Any project that you want to do on that home, just think about anything you cannot take with you if you decided to move, and that's how. As long as it's fixed to the property, you can't take it with you. Then that's a good way to think about the type things you can do. And I'll
It-
show at the end of this video those how to navigate this website, how to find that extensive list of things you can do to your property. Because I'm sure somebody wants to do, get some new windows or, all types of just nice things you want to do, paint, get that backsplash in your kitchen and so forth and so on. Now, I don't know if it's a pot filler in there because I know my wife loves those things, but we'll see. We'll see if it's on the list.
Super handy. I see one other point in here that it's a one-time closing with full funding after 4 days. So this is not going to be like a construction loan where you would like take draws periodically to pay the people. You're going to get all the money at one time and you have to start paying it back. So that's another point with the contractor. You've got to pay it back whether they do the work or not. If they take their deposit and then take off, you still have to pay it back and then you're stuck with not having the work done.
Correct.
So we've
So
got so far we have land, we have houses, and we have construction for doing home improvements. Now what
yes.
we're going to learn about.
So this is the second, and actually is no specific order, but this is just another two. Let's call it number 2 of 3 of your options. So if a veteran finances land through the VLB and forfeits that land for whatever reason, passes away, just not able to maintain payments, it then comes back to the VLB for a Type 1 veterans only land sale. This land sale it occurs quarterly. It's online. It happens in January, April, July, and October of every year. Uh, you have to create a profile on our website, through our website, and from there you can do that bidding all the way up to the date of sale. We're in a sale right now, and it closes on January 15th. The next one will be in April, but about 6 weeks out from that next sale, you're going to see those tracts of land listed that you can start bidding 6 weeks out from the actual date of sale. The way it works, it's a blind bid. You don't know who you're bidding against. You have to bid the minimum amount, which is the appraised value, and it'll be listed on our website. And I'll show you on here after this as well. The bids are due by the end of day on the date of sale. And like I said, you could bid every day as often as you want, all the way up until the date of sale, which for this one is January 15th, 2026. We will finance up to 95% of the sales price or the appraised value, whichever is less, for all qualifying veterans and service members. And last thing is that the properties are sold as is. But this is a pretty cool option. I think we have about 4 or 5 tracts of land right now on this veterans only land sale. And it's the same criteria. You can finance up to $150,000. You can pay cash for it if you have it like that. I'm sure somebody out there is like, hey, I got this in my pocket right now. So, bid it, win, and, drop the money on there. And the cool thing about it, if you decide you don't want to go forth with it, let's say we call you and you get the winning bid, and you're like, well, I'm okay. Then that's okay. You can walk away, no issue. It then goes to the next highest bidder. And then
Okay.
we announce at our quarterly board meetings, which is open to the public. You can drive out to Austin and sit in that room and hear from the board directly. You'll hear those, they'll approve that list of those that won, and then from there they'll push that information information out about who won, and that person will be notified, and so forth and so on. But it's a really cool process, and it's also streaming online if you want to watch, the results of that land sale. And we send it out. It's public information.
Yeah, that's cool. Like eBay for VLB land.
eBay. Yeah,
So do you, so do
I
you
bought
want
some
to bid,
early.
bid every day or do you want to wait till the last day to bid or what's your strategy going to be on that? What's the best way to win?
I have no strategy, but what I would recommend is just don't rely on that minimum amount. So you can bid to the minimum amount, but I'm sure someone else maybe think about prices right. There we go.
Yeah.
Uh, just don't go lower. You know, don't go lower than the appraised amount or the listed amount. We won't do $1 Bob. We won't do that. But
Right.
yeah, just
Oh, cool.
yep, be persistent.
I hadn't heard about this. This is interesting.
Then, if the land does not sell at our Type 1 veterans only land sales, it then transition out to the general public. Now, this one, Sherry, I think can help not only your veterans and service members, but this also is open to your non-veterans.
Okay.
So if you got non-veteran clients, they could benefit from tracts of land that's already on our website. This is the process that it went through. That land was financed by a veteran or service member through the VLB, and that veteran forfeited it. It then went to the VLB quarterly land auction, and it did not sell. So now it's gone out to the Type 2 public land sale, which any veteran or non-veteran can participate in.
Okay.
It's the same criteria. It's a continuous sale. So when you go on the website and look at our veterans only sale for January, you're going to see after January 15th, close of business. On the 16th, you won't see any land available for the veterans only sale. It'll tell you it's closed until the next quarter. However, this continuous sale, you can click on that tab and you will see that land listed all throughout the year. Right now,
Hmm.
we've got probably around 20 about 20 plus tracts of land that's available, and it's kind of unprecedented. I've been told that at least in the past decade they hadn't seen that many tracts of land available, which means it's land available for those that want to utilize our program to purchase that land. Um, it is first come, first serve, but you can finance up to, 150, 225 for dual serving spouses. And then for that non-veteran, the only difference for them is that this is the only part of our program they can participate in as far as financing goes, but they can apply for financing as a non-veteran at an 8.25% interest rate versus the 7.25 for the veteran. They would
Okay.
still have that 5% down minimum, and then 30-year term to pay it off and they can pay it off as early as they like with no penalty. So the same applies. So yeah, where else? And I would highly recommend, hey, sit
Right.
with some of your non-veteran clients and let them know about this as an option if they want some ownership, and they don't have to build anything on it. They can sit on it and do whatever they like with local restrictions. I want to make sure I say that too.
Right. Well, this is interesting. I have a project in mind that I'll talk to you about later. One on
Okay.
one.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let's see. Oh yeah, there was something else about land I want to talk about. So if someone wanted to build on their land that they purchased through the VLB, we're not going to fund the construction of that. What you would have to do is you would have to seek out interim construction financing through whomever you want to go through. But upon completion of that construction loan, you can combine that construction loan with your VLB home loan as long as the project does not exceed 832,750, which is our home loan amount.
Oh.
And at that point, you can go and buy more land because this leads into my next slide here where I talk about these frequently asked questions where you can use each program more than once. There's no limit to that. You can use all three of our loan programs simultaneously.
So they can get up to 832,000 per loan, right?
Uh,
That's
832,750 for the home loan. Now,
right for the home loan. But they, if they
yes,
were, I guess you have to, it has to be your primary residence, right? So
yes,
you can't do that repetitively because unless you like have some time in between. Once you're there for
yes,
2 years,
time, yep,
then you could buy another one for 800. But it's not like that's your entitlement and you only have up to 832 cumulatively. It's each loan, right?
yep. Each loan you can have out simultaneously. So you can have a 832 home loan out. You can have a $150,000 land loan out and a $50,000 home improvement loan out all at the same time. You can 100% do that. Um, Always keep that DTI in mind though, but you can definitely do it. So back to the land loan, combined with that construction loan. That construction loan has to have a two-time close. That's another stipulation we have. We don't really do the one-time closes, so it has to have a two-time close on that construction loan. But that, like I mentioned, once that you can convert that construction loan and that land loan into a low interest VLB home loan, you can go out and go buy land because you can't have two like loans out at the same time. So you've now closed out that land loan and you've condensed that into a home loan. You can go out and buy more land if you'd like to do that and
Huh?
do an improvement on your home that
Cool.
you just built. Like, hey, I wanted that jacuzzi in the bathroom, so you can do that.
Right.
And there's a window of time you have to wait before doing improvements. I think it's 90 days, but I don't want to misspeak there. For that improvement on that new home. We don't do any construction like mentioned before, and then we don't have any refinancing options as well.
So the Earl program doesn't apply to this, right?
No, that's your
That's
yep,
for
that's the
VA loans only.
VA.
Yeah.
Great,
Gives you,
great program though. Like great,
yeah.
yeah, that VA allows that, and this is why I say we complement the VA. I think every state complements the VA. That's your umbrella there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just an extension of your veteran benefit for the state of Texas.
Texas has like some of the best benefits for veterans in the land. I think Florida is the closest next one. But yeah, we take care of our people here.
And you all do good work out there where you are too. It was great, meeting you out there in College Station a little while ago, and I definitely look forward to doing some outreach with y'all here shortly. So we have 10 long-term skilled nursing facilities here throughout the state of Texas. This initiative came about I think in the year 2000, we built the first state veterans home here in Texas in the year 2000. Now, throughout the nation, other states can do this exact same thing. I know for a fact there's one, and they have them in other states. But here's the key thing I want to talk about our state veterans homes. If you're a veteran with 70% or greater service connect disability, you qualify for a generally free stay in our homes.
Oh, wow.
Um, if you if your spouse wants to stay in this home as well with you, then they would have to pay that full private room rate, but they can stay in these facilities with you as well. We just opened our 10th one in Fort Worth back in March of 2025. And when I tell you these facilities are great, they have memory care units. They range from 32 to 60 beds um, per home. And we also have about maybe 120 to 160 beds per facility total. And that includes the memory care units. But it's just a great opportunity for those that can't take care of their daily activities. Now, this is not to be confused with that retirement home, but this is long-term skilled care where, a veteran can't take care of their daily activities, at least 2 to 3 of their ADLs, as they call it.
Yeah,
They're
this is assisted living as opposed to independent living.
But it's different. It is different from assistant. I think I
Right.
talked to our,
Right.
our
Skilled
on-site
care.
rep.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very particular about us making sure we say long-term skill care. It took a while to get it together. I was like, long-term skill. I had to figure out how to string it together. But yes,
Right.
it's long-term skill care.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to need some help. Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
That can be like managing your medications, help
hmm
you don't slip and fall in the shower.
Yes. Yep.
There's lots of different things. Yeah.
hmm And there's another good thing about it. These homes, the way we partner with the VA is, VA pays a portion of the funds that it takes for a veteran to stay here. So for those that are not at 70% service connection, you don't have to have any service connect disability to stay in these homes. You just need that criteria of can't take care of your daily activities. There are options through Medicaid to pay. You stay there for 30 days and you can then apply for that for funds through Medicaid. Most of your private insurance is gonna cover this, but the VA will pay up to, and it fluctuates once a month, but usually about $100 worth of per diem. So if the listed amount is $164.60, then the VA will pay 100 of those dollars, and that daily rate for that veteran is $64.60, um, which is not bad.
Right.
And once you get to 70%, then that's generally a free stay. Now, if you decide you want to get a private room because this rate is based off of a semi-private room where you're sharing spaces, then that veteran will have to come out of pocket, but just to pay that little extra for the private rooms. But just a great program for those that need that extra assistance or that long-term care. There we go. Make sure I say the right thing. Long-term skill care.
No point in staying home and suffering through if you needed the help and you have an option, right? There are places to go. And yeah, so if they are like needing something like this, where should they or someone who loves them reach out to get involved with one of these homes? Just come to your website, the VLB
Yes.
website.
Yeah. Yes. The 800 number that's provided here, and I can pull that up here at the end. But they could
Yeah.
also contact directly any of the 10 homes. They could apply simultaneously to all 10 if they wanted to. Because it's based off of the availability, right? But the admissions process is you want to, I want to say hand walk, but you may not be in a position where you can hand walk. So it could be mailed, it could be faxed or hand walked in, since the information that we ask for is going to be pretty sensitive information about their
Okay.
military service, their DD Form 214, and so forth and so on. Some things that they may have experienced in the military, things that they may have PTSD or something like that. And our staff at these homes are trained on that type of stuff. We've had ceremonies where we had balloons, and it wouldn't have made sense to have balloons if they popping, because people may have an issue, but they're trained on, hey, don't do these certain things around this population because they may have triggers or all of that. So our staff is professional, they're trained, and it's just a great facility if you ever get a chance to look at them.
I have
And
a question on this. If, like, say someone's here in Bryan College Station and they
yeah.
want to get to a place like this, which is
hmm
awesome. Do these homes have transportation to get them from where they are to the place, or would they need to get with someone like Brazos Transit to take them from place to place, or how do they get from home to here when the time comes?
That transportation, as far as I'm aware, is on the veteran and their family. So them getting there, I'm not aware of any programs where we would go out and transport them to the home. But I don't want to misspeak on that. I can run that down for sure. But I believe it is on the veteran to get to the home, the veteran or the family. But I can imagine it may be some situations where, let's say they're in the hospital and that they do get transported over. I could see that being an option, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't want to give you misinformation
So
there.
we've got, there are different community type programs. There's Veteran Express, there's the Brazos Transit. I don't know how far they would go.
hmm
Again, maybe like within the Brazos Valley. So none of these are there. So,
Yeah, it's a
but
great question.
yeah, I'm sure that there are some volunteer people, or, if you don't have family around, is what I'm getting at. If you don't have someone
hmm
there, get connected with your VSO. Hopefully they'll be a helpful person and they can connect you with someone who will give you a ride to the place, right?
Yeah, you got a great VSO out there. Great VSO.
She is amazing.
Um, Now we do provide transportation to appointments, and we do have a shuttle for those residents in the home. I see it out in the community all the time. I'm at Fort Hood from time to time, and I've seen them as far as Fort Hood. It's about 30 minutes from my area where this home is. And yeah, they're out and about. There was one gentleman, family members can come sign you out, and you can, have day passes and all that kind of stuff, based off of your health level and all that.
Right.
This gentleman was actually, he's a Medal of Honor recipient. He was getting ready to relocate to Fort Worth and pick out his own room, which he did, because when we opened that home, it was closer to his family. But when I saw him, it threw me off because I was used to seeing him in the home. I was like, "Sir, how'd you get out?" But I'm like, "Wait, it's not jail. It's not jail. It's not jail."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they can, move around, and family members can take them around. I was getting a new shirt at Dillard's, and he was getting a new shirt at Dillard's. So it was just pretty
Nice.
cool to see him out and about. And he remembered me, so it was pretty cool. So here's another opportunity here. We created programs back in 2020 to keep our veterans connected with the community. So if anyone wants to be engaged um, with the residents of the home, then they could do community outreach through this mail drop program. You just pick a home. The closest one to you all, I think, is in Temple. So that'd be a good one if you wanted to sign up for a few programs we have. So mail drop is a good one. You can do letters and cards and pictures, and just let the veterans know how much you love them. Then we have 100 for 100, which is another initiative we came up with for our veterans that's made it to that blessed age of 100. We had one that a lady, she turned 100, and I think she got 4,700 cards. So
Wow.
pretty sure she didn't open every last one of them. That's a lot of paper cuts, but it's really cool to know that somebody's thinking about you, especially when you're 100. There's not too many friends left at that point. So it's good to just have
Yeah.
some people thinking about you. And then we have another one that's not listed here. It's called Valentine's for Vets. I think this would be a really great one, Sherry. If your community wanted to, jump on that train, that would be a really good one. We had 37,000 cards, almost 40,000 cards last year throughout the state, given to these veterans in the home. And I'm talking about kids in elementary school, soldiers, service members throughout, just donating their time to write cards to these veterans in their homes because some of these veterans lost family members. They may not have anybody, so that's a really good initiative we got going now through February the 10th, and I'll
Right.
show you that here in a little bit.
All right. That's sweet. We have the largest concentration of veterans here in the Brazos Valley of any place in the country that doesn't have a base. So we've got a good number here too.
Oh yeah. Yep. This is an accurate slide. I was about to say coming soon. Okay. Now
Yeah.
this is the last program where I would say we complement the VA, and definitely thankful for the partnership we have with Department of Veterans Affairs. So we have four, soon to be five, state cemeteries. So the way these cemeteries come about is, the VA requires that if there's a state cemetery, it can't be any closer. It has to be outside of 75 miles. It can't be anything closer than that to a national cemetery. Our cemeteries meet the criteria of the National Cemetery Administration, which is a subcomponent of the VA. And if the population or the local area, if you're able to get that land donated, 'cause that's how we acquire it is through donation. We can't purchase it. So if someone donates the land, the local population is okay with it. It's voted on by community, which I know Bear County is working at right now to potentially get another state nursing home out there, state veterans home out there through the same process. Then we apply for a grant through the VA, and VA, if granted, they'll fund the initial construction of that cemetery or state veterans home, and then the state will then take it over from that point. And what we do in Killeen with that state cemetery is that the city of Killeen manages the perpetual care of that cemetery. Key benefit here for the veteran is that we take care of everything from the gate forward. So that's it's on the family members to get the veteran to the gate. We don't take care of any of the flowers or the casket, any of that stuff. But once they get to the gate, it's the VLB show from the gate forward. That's the full burial. Uh, it's their full military honors. All of that's free of charge, provided by the VLB. Also with the headstone. If you and your spouse, this is for you and your spouse. So the way we have the crypts oriented is a stack. It's more of a stack versus a breast. So if your spouse is not military, you'll be stacked. Um, and whomever goes first obviously goes first, and then whoever goes second goes second. But with the headstone, they'll turn it around. One name will be on one side, one name will be on the other side. And here's another key benefit: you can pre-register as soon as today if that's something you want to do. You can pre-register, and at that point, you're good to go. And if you decided you didn't want to be buried in a state veterans home, I'm sorry, state veteran cemetery, it's weird, state veteran cemetery, then you can. Rest assured you're already in the system, so you can transfer it over to the federal side as well. So,
Okay, so
um,
you can reserve your spot.
yep,
Can you
yep.
like pick the spot or you just reserve a
That's
spot?
that's a great question. So we can't promise you that sun gonna hit you, right in that nice spot the way you want it, every day. But we can definitely promise you're gonna have a space, for you and your spouse here, but not the spot. That's a great question, Sherry. We also have the columbarium wall where you can, um, have your plaque there as well. We have a scattering garden for those that were, cremated, and yeah, but we won't, obviously we won't take care of that process. But I've seen burials where they would have the box with the ashes in it, and we do the entire process, the entire, honors with the salute and everything, regardless if you're cremated or if you're in a casket. But yeah, they got a little dark, but that's how we like to say we take care of our veterans for every phase of life, and then as they pass on.
Yeah. I've never heard it called a scattering garden. That kind of caught me off guard.
Yep, we do have a scattering garden.
The scattering I've been involved in has been in beautiful places, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
traveling, that kind of stuff.
Well, I will say if you ever get the opportunity to visit one of our state veteran cemeteries, the one in Killeen is really, really nice. I haven't been to any of the others actually, but um I would say just take the opportunity to view it. It'll change your mindset on. I mean, it's not even. It doesn't have a dark feeling. It's just very honorable. If you
Yeah.
look left and right, you're gonna see all of the headstones dress right, dress equally distanced, and it's very well managed. So it's very honoring to walk around there and just watch and think about the stories of those that came before us because they're literally giants when it come down to it. The things that they've done for our nation.
Yeah. If the ground could talk, right? I say that, well, being a realtor, when I when I walk through a house, especially a really old house, like I wish the walls could talk. I can like, picture the people who lived in it in the past and, kind of the history of the home. And it would be interesting if there was a way to know or be able to find out all the stories of all the people in the cemeteries, because there's a whole person in there, a whole life.
Yes, yes. That there's a an initiative that Texas State and the VLB partnered with, I want to say early last year or maybe late 2024, where they are actually doing research to connect with family members of those that are interred in cemeteries that were veterans, and they're collecting those stories. I think that's pretty cool that they're doing that. And it's something to look up. I forget. I think it's called the Legacy Project. But yeah, we're working in conjunction with Texas State on that. And then
Very
we also offer another program, which that's the last thing I'll cover after cemeteries. I think that's pretty much all the details on our cemeteries. Oh, we got a 99.28% customer satisfaction guarantee or approval rating from the families, obviously, of those veterans interred in our cemeteries, and we meet the exact same criteria of the as the National Cemetery Administration, which is pretty outstanding. We have to meet the VA's requirements. Obviously, we're exceeding those standards, so but we still got ways to go. We want to get to 100. That's our goal.
always room for improvement.
Of course, yes. Then we also do unaccompanied veterans burials where that next of kin, we can't find next of kin of that veteran if they passed away. We have all types of veteran service organizations that come out and support in mass, in numbers. We've had units come out from wherever they are and support and be that show that camaraderie family on the way out for that veteran that we can't find an next of kin. There is a nonprofit out there that's doing great work. It's been times where we had unaccompanied veterans scheduled, and then we'll have to cancel it. You'll see it, blasted on our website, canceled. That's a great thing, that that nonprofit was able to find that next of kin, and they had family present for their actual funeral. So I think it wound up being a really great program. And if you ever get the opportunity to check those out, whether it be at a state cemetery or um, a national cemetery, then I think it's just great to get the opportunity to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, I like what you said about if the walls could talk, right?
Right.
Um, or if the ground could talk. Well, this is an opportunity where our veterans and service members, I would just say veterans because service members still continuing their story, but you can record your story with us, both visually and with audio, and we'll send you a thumb drive of your story. You can record that story and you'll be a part of Texas Archives forever. I like to often say how my grandfather was a World War II veteran, which he was, and um, I don't remember everything he used to tell me. He told me, "Boy, I used to load them bombs." That's all I remember that he told me. And he did
Yeah.
some time. He did some time in Japan. And he was on a boat and all kind of stuff. But I don't remember everything. So you want to record that story so your kids aren't out here saying that you did things you didn't do. They could just properly preserve your story. Another thing
Right.
is you got a lot of research enthusiasts. They go out here and they want to hear more about the depth of what was going on in these eras. So you're gonna hear about generals, you're gonna hear about, the top brass and all of that, but you wanna yes, hear those stories, but you get some more depth as you get the private, you get the sergeant, you get the tech sergeant and all the other cool people that were out there contributing to any battle, anything that we had going on in our conflicts. But
I love having this in video form. Like my dad's dad died when I was 8 years old, so I didn't really get much opportunity. I know he worked on a supply ship in World War II, and
mhm,
that there was a torpedo coming at his boat, and another boat drove in front of it and took the hit for them. That's the story I
mm,
remember him telling. But his brothers, one of his brothers was a foot soldier and really good at interrogating people. My dad
mhm.
did family history search, and he found
Yeah.
people that my his uncle had served with, and so he recorded. He has letters from this guy, and he's got written history. But having, excuse me, having the voice and the video and the face of the person, I would love to have this from my great uncles and my grandpap to see you know see them talk about their life and their stories from their military service. That would
Yes.
that would just be incredibly meaningful, I think.
And Sherry, you all can host something like this too. If you wanted to, let's just call it a month from now. If you all wanted to host a Voices of Veterans Expo or something like that, where you had,
Yes.
people in your area that, often tell their story about things that they've done in service and they're proud to talk about it. It doesn't even have to be the war story. It can be, funny story from basic training. I got plenty of them. You know, or whatever your job was, you can just share whatever it is that you're comfortable talking about that you haven't signed an NDA for. So
Okay.
I think it'd be pretty good. And you could click on our website. You'll see all these stories from different veterans, different branches of service, all branches of service, all eras. You can record. You can listen to those stories as well. And our Voices of Veterans coordinator, Mr. James Dillon, he could travel out there to y'all's area and record these stories in person or over the phone, whichever y'all prefer. But even if, like I said, if y'all want to host something, they'll be great. Actually,
Yeah.
they're out of town today, right now, down in I think Wilson County today, doing recordings at our state veterans home right now. So he's very excited to get out there and get the stories preserved, and we'd like to add you to the list if there's something y'all are interested in doing out there in the area.
I love this. I'm going to be going to the CBVVO meeting tonight. I saw
That's
you.
tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight. So I'm going to talk to Pam about that. I'll bring
Ah,
this up and see. I'd love this idea. Yeah. I
yeah.
bet we can get something together.
Oh yeah. Yep. And please just add me in the email traffic about it. I'll get y'all
Oh,
connected.
okay. Sounds great. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah.
And this is obviously the last piece, but once again, our contact information. And this is how people can find us and see what we got going on. We post a lot about our land sales and just general outreach information on our Facebook and our Instagram. I don't see much on Twitter or X, and then YouTube. I think we're in the infancy of that. So, but we do have a LinkedIn account as well, Texas Veterans Land Board. So just check us out on LinkedIn as well. Follow. Yeah.
So I have another question here. So I've heard in the past that people just apply for these loans on the website. Do they do that, or is it like traditional where you would find, you call you guys up and you talk through it with a person? How does that work? If someone finds a piece of land, do they just do the whole thing themselves on the website, or is it interactive?
That's a great question. So when you everything starts online, um, you can you will have to establish your account online, with your own sign in, your own login and password. And then once you start inputting your data, once you hit submit, they're gonna assign you a loan processor. And
Okay.
you have to stay, check your email, check your account, make sure that you're staying vigilant on that because that's how they're going to communicate with you initially. And if it merges to a phone call, which I'm sure it will, it'll start from that dialogue in that portal, so to speak.
Okay, awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, and we're gonna put all these links and everything, and the phone numbers and everything into the description of the videos too, and
Hmm.
we'll have ways for people to get connected with you and with the Veterans Land Board and this whole process.
And that's my contact information there if anyone needs to contact me directly. And the newsletter, sign up for those that may want that newsletter. We push that out once a month. We don't spam anybody. And I always say, if you don't like it, just hit unsubscribe. But
Right.
I'm sure you're gonna love it. Because we don't overdo it. And the cool thing about it, if 6 weeks out from the actual land sale, we're gonna send you out an email with those tracts of land that's available, which I can show you now if you like.
Yeah.
Let's see, stop share. I like doing the podcast because they're different, they're different. It's you're trying to figure out what audience you're talking to, but I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Let's see, links.
Like I say, we have the greatest concentration of veterans here in our area of any place in the country that doesn't have a base. There are, I think, over 40,000 veterans here, plus some active duty people. So
Hmm.
we've got a good audience here and a lot of people that could use this kind of product.
Let's see. Oh, I stopped sharing screen. I used to be really, really good at this kind of stuff. But I'm out of practice. I don't do it as much. All right. Okay, so here's our website. Maybe I should have just started here. Let's just go there. Now, did you see how it redirected? A lot of times on our marketing material, you're gonna see that VLB.Texas.Gov.
Hmm.
Look here. So now click here is gonna redirect you to VLB.Texas.Gov/veterans. That's our new website here.
Okay.
You can go into the veterans tab and you can negotiate through any or navigate. I don't know what word I'm using. You can navigate through any of these tabs that covers all of our programs here, down to if you want to know any of this information, all of our forms, all of our resources, all here for you to see. All right, so here we go.
Looks
So our
pretty straightforward.
so our land loans, here's the interest rate. We have the steps of getting started if you got questions there. And same thing, look at everything online, make sure you meet criteria, upload your documentation, get your pre-qual, and then, find your land. And then, yep, the process is going to be assigned to you, and then we'll have a closing date. It takes about 45 to 60 days once we have an approved contract and a survey. Um, that survey is usually the biggest issue that we have. And the way that process goes is it'll be a conversation between the VLB surveyor and your surveyor. But they won't talk to the loan officer. They won't talk to realtor. They're gonna have that conversation surveyor to surveyor to make sure that thing meets criteria.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit time consuming, and that's after you have the contract and the survey, then the 45 days start. And a survey can take you several weeks to get. A lot of times depending on your area and how many surveyors there are, some of them are weeks, scheduled out for weeks. So it'll be a few weeks before they can get out there.
Hmm.
It'll take them time to do it. Then it takes them time to draw it all up and, get all the puts and calls, written out. And so it's going to be a little bit of a time consuming process, but worth it.
Hmm.
Worth it.
And that's why I always recommend to veterans and service members that I work with. I say, get you a realtor that you trust. Get you a realtor that you trust, right? Because you all do all the groundwork. You make sure that you're
Right.
protecting the best interests of your client. So that's the biggest thing I always recommend.
Just help navigating all the ins and outs. And there are so many things between contract and closing that the average bear just doesn't even know is a thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Okay, let me go into another tab here. Any questions about the land loan page?
no,
And
this is
and
awesome.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, apply now. There we go. That should have been the one we talked about. But I don't have a sign in, but this is basically what the person would would do to sign in or sign up. They'll create their account and then they'll upload all their documentation.
Okay. And for the non-veterans buying the land that doesn't sell on that auction, this is the same process that you'll go through.
Yes. Okay. See, I
Excellent.
kind of pre-fill it here, but for the home loans, let me go back one. This is our interest rate as of this week. So the base rate is 5.65 and the discounted rate is 5.15%, which is a half point off. Now this amount may change this Friday at 5:30 p.m. If it changes, that's when it would. And then these are all our requirements. So very easy to navigate.
So when does that rate locks in? Tell them like that's a lot closer to closing, right? Or once you've gotten your final approval, when does that rate get locked in? So it may be
If
5.15 when you apply, but
it's yeah, you'll lock at that rate, whatever it was that week.
okay, good.
Okay, and I think that's pretty cut and dry there. I think we covered that. Oh, yep. Let's see. Find a lender. So the veteran, they're not limited to just the county that they live in. They can utilize any lender on this list.
Okay.
So this is just the ones that came up from Brazos. I always say it wrong. Brazos.
Brazos.
Brazos. You
Brazos
got,
County.
please correct me every time. If I'm jacking it up, please correct me. I don't want to jack this up.
Brazos County. Yeah, but I mean, I know you can pull up, someone from way up in the panhandle, but people who are in the area of the land that you're buying are going to understand
Hmm.
the market around where you are, and they'll
Hmm.
be better suited to help you deal with any nuances or little issues that come up. They'll have more experience with what goes on in your area. So
Hmm.
there are lots of different areas in Texas between the plains and the marshes and the coast and this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
So
you're right about that.
you want to get your real estate professionals, including your lender, who's familiar with the product that you want to buy, so you get the best service for you.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay, that was interesting. It's a lot of clicks going on here. Can you see that banner? Because it's definitely in the way.
No.
There we go. All right, this is our home improvement loan. I think that's where we're at. So we don't require any down payment like I mentioned before, but this is the the small costs that you will see associated up front. And the same application process and that same interest rate, because we do originate the home improvement loan. What I really wanted to show you was the list of eligible and ineligible improvements. So this is everything you can do.
That's a lot of stuff.
For whatever reason, if anybody need an incinerator, there we go. You could do that. Get
Right.
some shingles. Let's see. Get an elevator in my one story. Yeah.
Right.
Escalator. Yes, all types of things you could do. Now, this is when I mentioned getting a additional room or something like that. That's kind of the catch-all there. Structural changes. You can use that. I've had people call me about water meters,
You can put
which
a vault in or like a safe room or a safe, a vault.
it was that listed. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
under
Oh,
V.
okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I even
Lots
saw
of
like
things.
here's one. I don't think anybody wants asbestos siding. This is things you can't do, so
Right. And
I
yeah.
think I'm okay with this.
So you can't, can you use that for removing asbestos if you're taking it off? Because that's a process that costs a little money if you have an older home. I just sold one that was built in the 1940, with asbestos siding on it. So that was a question that I've addressed recently. That was not a veteran transaction, but it was a, a,
That's
a person who got some down payment assistance from the city of Bryan. So
yeah.
we had to address that. There were some of the asbestos tiles that had fallen off, and we had to get someone who was certified in asbestos siding to come in, like fill those holes, with new siding, not asbestos. But I thought
Hmm.
I thought if you messed with it at all, you had to take all of it off and redo it. But
Hmm.
what they told us was, just cover the holes in the siding because, the weather and pests can penetrate if the siding is missing. So I had to get a few tiles replaced. So I wonder if something like that would be applicable on one of these.
Well, I'm not
Not,
100% certain, but
yeah, not installing it, but, fixing it if something's,
potentially. And I would recommend calling our loan department, the VHIP department.
right.
Alteration is just listed. You know what I mean? So maybe it could be captured under there. Um,
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
yeah, we're always thinking about what we're adding to, but I haven't ever had the question about taking away. That's a great. You got some good questions. You got a lot of experience over there, Miss Sherry. You got a lot of. That's
Learn
good.
something new absolutely every day. There's every child
Yes.
is a little bit different, but yeah, if you see something on that ineligible list, but it's like that asbestos thing, it's worth that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just take a no for face value,
Yeah.
maybe, or have your agent ask so they look dumb.
Yes. Look, and I look forward to getting an answer to that because that's something we can add to our kit bag and help more people.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna move along. All right, this is our land that is currently up for auction. And
for
I'll go for
veterans only,
veterans.
right?
Veterans only. So let's see. Let me navigate here. Land sales. You'll see here both are listed, correct? And it shows it opened back on December 2nd. So from December 2nd all the way up until 2 days from now, on January 15th, 5 p.m., a person can bid on this land. A veteran can bid on this land. Veteran service member, a person that qualifies. And it's got the handbook here also with the bidding process. It talks about all of that. It's a blind bid. It's all conducted online.
Okay.
And then you can now see the location, the track number, a photo, size of the land, and the amount, the minimum amount, the appraised amount that you have to bid. So let's just say Wilson County, 13 acres, 182. You can navigate through here and see all of and I always say go out and check it out. Go out there and look at it because the pictures, um, I was an artillery officer in the Army, so we did a lot of recon. You can look at a map and it looks great from the top, but it may not be what you want. So I always recommend go out there and look at
All
it,
right.
like
Could
whoever
be
this person
could be next to a hog farm or
is. Yeah. Train
something.
track, like something you just don't want.
Yeah, something undesirable.
That's nice. Deer stand. And yeah, whatever structure's on there, we only appraise that raw value of the land. We don't really do anything with the
Yeah.
structures that's on there.
Land value sale. So you said something about easement before, and I know that's a deal, it can be a deal breaker for buyers on land if it doesn't have deeded access, or some kind of road or something like that. What's the requirement for the land having, are there any access to the land requirements for these VLB land purchases?
Yes, it has to have access to a 60-foot easement. And sometimes there may be a case by case basis with the county if they got different restrictions and things like that. And we'll honor that. But the standard with us is a 60-foot easement. And I think it's listed on here on our
You
website
know,
as well.
like a 60-foot wide road to it.
Hmm. Yes, it has to be a navigable roadway. Trying to see where I can find it at on here. I know it's on the site.
So something landlocked that you have to hike to, not going to work.
Man, loans. I think it's on this site.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
A navigable waterway that, so if you have a lake property, as long as you can get to it by boat, 60 feet wide, it means the county public road. So sometimes it'll be a deeded easement, which is like, a path over another property.
Hmm.
I have some listings in Prairie View that are land, and one has a deeded easement over the first, the second one has deeded easement over the first one. And it's not really like a paved road or anything. It's just
Hmm.
down the fence line, but it does have some gravel on it. I mean, it's not like a whole rock road, but it's navigable. I don't know if it's 60 feet wide though.
Okay, and it may be a case by case thing where it may be acceptable. I think the biggest thing they just want to make sure that that property has a way in. I think if it's a conversation with someone you share land with, then I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay. You call it deeded easement. I think that'd be
That means it's like permanent. It's not just a handshake agreement with the current owner. Because what if the current owner dies or sells, or what? Then you get a new owner that doesn't want you to drive across their property. So it's better to have kind of legal access across it. That's in perpetuity.
my boss used to use that term.
Yeah.
The great boss. Okay, let's see. I think that was okay. The public sale. Now this one, hopefully we don't add to this after this auction. Excuse me. But this is the one that you could leverage with your non-veteran clients as well.
Okay. Walker County. That's pretty close. That's
It's close.
Huntsville.
Want to check it out? Let's check it out.
There's a lot of pine trees up there. A lot of wooded properties.
It's got all of the information here.
Pretty cool.
There was another one, yep. And it's under the 150 is pretty outstanding. Like I said, I had never heard of this program until I started working here, and it's a missed opportunity for a lot of people that love doing outdoor type of, activity. People I know just want to go hunt and shoot. I was stationed in El Paso. I don't even know whose land we were on. We just went shooting for a weekend, chasing rabbits, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. But yeah, it's a good getaway, and people can do that and or whatever else they want to do on the land they purchase
Yeah. Peace and quiet.
or not.
Right.
Shotguns and fireworks and stuff. Okay, I think that pretty much covers. I think that's everything. What's this one? Yep. Was there anything else you wanted to see?
Well, this seems like a pretty comprehensive overview of all the things that you guys uh, manage for the veterans.
And this is the last program. I don't know if you want to see that. This is the Valentine's for Vets. It's just a video from the commissioner. Back in 2021, the Texas Veterans Land Board created this program called Valentine's for Vets. This is an initiative where we send handwritten cards and that ain't what you asked me. You asked me to introduce her. She's gonna talk about all that.
Yeah, it's okay. Is this from someone from the
Yeah.
Texas General Land
So
Office?
yes. So this is a message from the Land Commissioner of the state of Texas. She also serves as the chairwoman of the Texas Veterans Land Board, and this is a special message from her to Texas on how we
Okay.
can support Valentine's for Vets.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Here we go.
Hey, Texas, I'm Dr. Dawn Buckingham, your Texas Land Commissioner. Every day, the General Land Office protects our coast, helps Texans recover from disaster, funds public education, preserves the Alamo, and serves our Texas veterans. As chairwoman of the Texas Veterans Land Board, it is my honor to work hard for our veterans and their families. The Veterans Land Board offers low interest loans that help Texas veterans buy a home, purchase some land, or renovate a home. We also operate 10 state veterans homes offering long-term care and operate 5 cemeteries to ensure our men and women in uniform have access to an honorable final resting place worthy of their sacrifices. February is a month of love and joy, a time to cherish those closest to us. But for many of our veterans, February can also be a lonely time. Some have lost their spouses, others may not have family nearby, and many are spending Valentine's Day away from loved ones. That's why in 2021, we started the Valentine's for Vets program to ensure that no veteran is forgotten on this day of love and appreciation. Last year, Texans across the state came together, sending thousands of cards to veterans across all 10 of our Texas state veterans homes. Those cards, letters, and drawings brought smiles, laughter, and tears of joy. It was a simple gesture that made a world of difference. But this year, we want to do even more. We need your help to send love to our veterans. Whether it's a handwritten card, a heartfelt letter, or a child's drawing, every message matters. It's a chance to let our heroes know they are loved, appreciated, and never forgotten. So I'm asking all Texans, schools, churches, and community groups to join us. Address your cards to Texas Veteran in care of Valentine's for Vets. You can find all 10 of our Texas state veterans homes addresses at VLB.Texas.Gov. This Valentine's Day, let's remind our veterans that their sacrifices will always be honored and their service will never be forgotten. I'm Dr. Dawn Buckingham, your Texas Land Commissioner. May God bless you and may God continue to bless the great state of Texas.
All right. Well, that's a nice program too. All the good feels.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming today and telling us all about all your products, all the veteran land board things. I thought, when we're realtors, we hear about if we take the class, then we hear about one thing, but I think, this needs to be more widespread, especially considering how many veterans we have here in the Brazos Valley, that all the agents need to know that this is available because these are valuable products for our veterans here in our area.
Yeah, and I'm available. Just let me know when y'all would like for me to come out and do a presentation, whether it be a Trek CE course, which I'm doing here on the 21st with y'all,
Yeah.
or if we want to do a veteran seminar and just bring veterans out and we can give them this exact presentation. It usually take about 30 to 40 minutes. It's not that lengthy. Then we do a Q&A at the end, have somebody sponsor it if they want to have food and stuff out there. We can do a lot of things with this information to just educate.
Good deal. Sounds perfect. I foresee we're going to do some fun stuff in the near future. So I'm excited.
Yes. No, and thanks again, Sherri, for the invite today.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming and spending all this time with us. And we're going to get this information out the best we know how. So we'll be putting it everywhere. So,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Well, we'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week.